What's up, lovely humans of the world? It is I, Audrey Mayy, and I'm here with another video. I know I haven't been posting, but I recently started university this year and it's just a lot of work to do. I'm gonna post a lot more when it's finished, so I have like 6 months off, so I'm gonna be posting weekly, let's hope. Getting my back about that. But yeah, no, this week's video is gonna be a bit more serious. For one of my university assignments, we had to do a 60-second silent film. So I decided to make a 60-second silent film about homophobia. I wanted to raise awareness to this problem in our society. So with the video that I made, it was 60 seconds about homophobia. I made it really quickly, so it wasn't the best quality, but it was still pretty good and I thought it conveyed my message really well. So here it is for you guys. Enjoy. Proceed with caution because it could offend some viewers. So yeah, just be careful if you might not like the content in it. But yeah, enjoy. I hope. Enjoy. So yeah, so that was my video that I made with my friend, and I thought that it was very deep and meaningful, that it had a serious message that I wanted to share with you guys and the world and just the internet in general, because it's a deep topic and it's close to the heart and it means a lot of things to a lot of people. And essentially I thought that more people should be aware of this problem in our society. First of all, we're going to talk about suicide. Lesbian, gay, bisexual people between the ages of 16 and 27 are 5 times more likely to commit suicide and 6 times more likely to just think about it. Transgender humans over the ages of 18 are 11 times more likely to commit suicide and 18 times more likely to think about it. People with intersex variation over the age of 16 are 6 times more likely to commit suicide and 5 times more likely to think about it. And the ones who experience harassment and abuse are even more likely to commit suicide, whereas only 13.3% of the general population actually admit to thinking about committing suicide. And self-harm. Lesbian, gay and bisexual people are twice as likely to self-harm, with 33% actually having admitted to self-harming and 41% who actually have thoughts of self-harm. Trans people over the age of 18 are 6.5 times more likely to self-harm, with 53% reporting to have self-harmed and still like 11% now currently self-harming. People with intersex variation over the age of 16 are 3 times more likely to self-harm, with 26% having reported self-harm and 42% having thoughts of self-harm, whereas the general population is just 8.1% who have actually self-harmed in their lifetime. LGBT plus people are twice as likely to have symptoms of a mental disorder, with 41.1% having symptoms over the past 12 months. And 37.1% of these people have actually been diagnosed with a mental disorder over the past 3 years. Whereas the general population is just 20% who have had symptoms. And that's literally half the amount of LGBT people who have had symptoms or have been diagnosed with a mental disorder. So all these stats that I'm going to go through are between the ages of 16 and 27. For lesbians, 44% of lesbians have thought about committing suicide and 20% have actually attempted committing suicide. 46% of lesbians have actually self-harmed, with 48% to have thoughts about self-harm. 39.1% of lesbians over the past 3 years and over the age of 16 have been diagnosed or treated for a mental disorder. Now gay people, once again between the ages of 16 and 27. 46% of gay men have had thoughts of attempting suicide, with 14% actually having attempted suicide. Whereas 21% of gay men have actually self-harmed, with 40% having thinking about self-harm. And 29.8% of gay men over the past 3 years and over the age of 16 have been diagnosed or treated with a mental disorder. Bisexual women, we're going to talk about. 29% of bisexual women have had thoughts about committing suicide and 10% have actually attempted to commit suicide. 31% of bisexual women have actually self-harmed, with 30% having thinking about self-harm. And 50.6% of bisexual women over the past 3 years and over the age of 16, over half of them, have been diagnosed or been treated for a mental disorder. And bisexual men. And 32% of bisexual men have had thoughts of committing suicide and 9% have actually attempted to commit suicide. 17% of bisexual men have actually self-harmed, whereas 32% have had thoughts of self-harming. And 34.1% of bisexual men over the age of 16 over the past 3 years have been diagnosed or treated for a mental disorder. And 44.2% of trans women over the age of 18 have current thoughts to commit suicide or self-harm in the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks only. That's ridiculous. And 57.4% of trans women over the age of 16 have reported to be diagnosed or treated with a mental disorder over the past 3 years. And 58.9% of trans women over the age of 18 have been diagnosed with depression sometime in their life. And 40.5% of trans men over the age of 18 have had thoughts to commit suicide or self-harm over the past 2 weeks. And 55.3% of trans men over the age of 16 have been diagnosed or have been treated with a mental disorder over the past 3 years. And 62.1% of trans men over the age of 18 have actually been diagnosed with depression in their lifetime. And 37.5% of non-binary assigned female at birth and 30.2% of non-binary assigned male at birth over the age of 18 years old have reported having thoughts of self-harm or suicide over the past 2 weeks. 54.4% of non-binary assigned female at birth and 40.6% non-binary assigned male at birth over the age of 18 have been diagnosed with depression at some stage in their life. 19% of people with an intersex variation over the age of 18 have attempted to commit suicide on the basis of issues relating to having a congenital sex variation. And 60% of people with an intersex variation over the age of 18 have had thoughts of committing suicide on the basis of issues relating to having congenital sex variation. 42% of people with an intersex variation over the age of 16 have had thoughts of self-harm. And 26% of these people have engaged in self-harm on the basis of the issues relating to having a congenital sex variation. And 21.3% of people with intersex variation over the age of 16 have actually been diagnosed with depression. All these stats I got off an LGBTI health website, and the website link is right here. You can check it out if you would like to see more facts and statistics on LGBT mental health and awareness. So you can see that these stats are significantly higher than the stats for the general population. And I believe that this creates an issue, and that we as a society need to raise awareness towards homophobia and the actual impact that it can have on young adults in the LGBT community. So essentially I want to raise awareness to these issues and just to let people of the LGBT community know that it's okay to reach out. If you're afraid to seek help through a therapist or a psychologist, there are other ways to help yourself, or just to talk to someone about all the problems or issues that you have tucked up and hidden away within yourself. Even if you may be scared or afraid, there's always someone there who will listen, and there's so many free services, free counselling, online chat rooms. You can talk to a professional or just a volunteer or just someone who will listen to you, and you can do it anonymously. And these are a list of different organisations that you can call, or you can even chat online to them, and they will help you in different regards of your life. There's QLife, which is a counselling and referral service for LGBTI people. You can call this number or chat online from 3 p.m. to midnight 7 days a week. There's BeyondBlue, which is for anyone who's depressed or anxious. You can call this number or chat to them online between the hours of 3 p.m. and midnight. I think it's Sydney time though, so it's Australian time. There's Headspace, which is for your mental health between the ages of 20 and 25. You can call them at this number at any time or chat online between 9 a.m. and 1 a.m. There's reachout.com, which is a youth mental health service. You can visit their website for more information or use their online chat forum. There's also Lifeline, which is support for anyone having a personal crisis. You can call this number or chat online between the hours of 7 p.m. and midnight. There's suicide callback service, which is for anyone who's thinking about committing suicide. You can call them at this number at any time. There's also these two websites, with ACON being for LGBTI health and HIV prevention and support. Also PFLAG for friends and family of lesbians and gays if you want support. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you learned something new, and that if you are worried or you are afraid, just don't be afraid to reach out. There's always people there, and with these numbers that I just listed, I'll list them again for you guys right here. There you go. Feel free to message them or call them anytime. They're there for you, and just know that you're not alone, and that there's always someone there for you. Please share this around with anyone who you think needs to hear this, and I suppose I'll see you guys next time with Audrey Mayy. Yeah.
Show